brought you the news. Printed the info, we gave you the clues. Owners' profits were always sky high. Changing market now threatens our lives.
Hey everybody, welcome to Navel Gazing, the Valley Indy podcast. My name is Eugene Driscoll of valleyindy.org. I cover Derby, Seymour, and Ansonia with the help of Gene Fabel Sosnovich, a freelance writer. So joining me for this episode is the chief of the Derby Fire Department, Mr. David Leonard. Hello, David.
Hello, Eugene. How are you?
Pretty good. Thanks so much for taking a couple of minutes here. So we're talking about, or I want to talk about, the last week or so in terms of Derby Fire Department organizing a COVID-19 home test kit distribution event up at the middle school, high school campus. But I guess before I ask that, the question everyone keeps asking on social media, and I'm sure you're getting inquiries all the time, do you have any idea at this point when the next event will take place?
Unfortunately, at this time, we do not.
And that could come. You don't even know when.
Yeah, we don't even know. You know, they're. And I'm actually getting my news from you guys, the media, that there is supposed to be another round, but we have no knowledge of it officially at this time.
Okay, yeah. The Lamont Governor Lamont had a press conference today, and during that press conference, and I should note we're recording this on Tuesday, January 4th. The state basically said after a giant misstep. During which the state announced these masks were on their way and the deal fell through. Now it's sort of gearing up, and they gave out 600,000 masks. I'm sorry, not masks, COVID test kits over the weekend, and now more are coming. But I wanted to ask you, Chief Leonard, I don't know. I get the sense that people are on edge with COVID because, the rates are up. The kids have gone back to school. And then there's posts online. Yesterday, Ansonia did their event, and there was this whole thread where people were kind of going after the government because too many people showed up to get them, and there wasn't enough supply. So I wanted to get an idea, as someone who was behind the scenes, and from what I understand, sort of had this hoisted upon you. It's not like you said, "Hey, I'll take this. This is what I get paid for, City of Derby." But how did it come about? You were supposed to have the first event New Year's Eve, and then it didn't happen.
Yeah, so we received a call on the Monday the 27th, later in the afternoon. There was going to be a statewide conference call for emergency service officials to discuss the possible distribution of test kits. One of my hats is I assist Mark Neuendorf, our emergency management director in Derby, and we on that call learned that the state had kits ready for distribution. Our original number of kits was 1,200 and I think 20. I might be off a few, but it was 1,220 kits that we were supposed to get. We were, we were notified by the governor's office and via the conference call that they wanted them distributed before the 4th of July. Woo! Wishful thinking, before the New Year's Eve holiday. So, conferring with Mark and myself and the other city players, we came up with the idea of doing it on the day of New Year's Eve, just because we figured that, New Year's was a holiday. We figured it'd be the best way to get as many people there as possible. Plus, giving them out right before the holiday was kind of the marching orders we were given from the state. Little did we know at that time, we announced that we were going to give them out. I lined up members from the fire department to come assist and hand them out. And obviously all that was done without us having the knowledge that they weren't even in the state. And as the time got closer, about, Wednesday night they were supposed to be here. Then they were going to be delayed. So Thursday they were going to be here. So we did try to hold off on canceling the event, because we didn't know when they were coming in. We were afraid that, what if we say Thursday, afternoon that we're going to cancel it, and then they call us and say, okay, the kits are in, come get them, you're good to go. So we made the decision, we made a drop dead time, Mark and I, about 4 o'clock Thursday. If we hadn't heard anything, we were going to cancel the event Friday, which by then, obviously, we didn't hear anything. So we did cancel the Friday the 31st event. I did put a placeholder in So for the members of the fire department that were helping, we said, look, thank you very much for the members who volunteered to help with the distribution event. However, due to the fact that the kits aren't here, we're going to, cancel the event. I said, however, we're, keep your ears open for a Saturday or Sunday in case the kids came in. So I had about 20 members of the department kind of on standby, ready to go in case they came in. And then around Saturday evening, we got a notification that they were in. And Sunday morning, we got notified that our allotment was ready to be picked up. At that time, too, there was a little bit of confusion because originally we were told we were getting roughly 1,200 kits. And then we were told we were getting, half of that. And then we were told we were getting more. It was just kind of a little bit all over the place. Mark Neuendorf and I, we actually decided to hold the event. Mark was getting in his car to drive to New Britain to pick them up.
And then it was decided. So and I just want to ask one thing, David.
Morning. Yep.
And maybe this is important for people because I don't know if everyone realizes this. This is a volunteer fire department. This is a volunteer position that you have in the city of Durham. And Mark Neuendorf, same?
Yes, same thing. Yes, the emergency management director is volunteer. So Mark had to take his pickup truck and drive up to New Britain and pick these kits up. And while Mark was doing that, I was getting ready to set things up at the parking lot of the high school. We chose the high school because we thought it'd be the best location. We could control, Nutmeg Avenue, make it one way, have one way in, one way out, plus the large area up there gave us the ability to bring a lot of vehicles in. And that was kind of our plan. Again, I believe we announced the event like around 10:30, 11 o'clock that morning. Mark went and picked up the kits. I met him at City Hall. We had to open all the boxes, break down all the pallets, get them ready, and then go up to the high school with a bunch of members of the fire department and actually set up the site with the cones and the barriers. To my surprise, I got there around noon, and I shouldn't say to my surprise, we did expect people to get there early, and there was probably about 15 to 20 vehicles already waiting for the, starting to line up. So and then quickly assembled.
You get them, Mark picks them up on Sunday, and you decide to have the event on Sunday. What was the thinking of having the turnaround so quick?
Basically, we were moving. It was a weekend, and then if we just wanted to do it Monday or the rest of the week, we were going to be interfering with school.
Okay, so this sounded like you're mobilized. You have the people power. Let's do this.
We had the members ready to go, and we were kind of on standby. And again, we made the decision. Mark was driving, up to pick up the kits, and when we decided to do it, so we picked them up and brought them back and handed them out, that quickly.
And how did it fall to the fire department and emergency management to do this? I don't know if that's been the way in every town. I have no idea.
It is. It's an emergency management job. It's one of the things that emergency management, the coordination came down through the state Homeland Security Emergency Management Division. And I really don't know how it fell to the fire department, but we are a force that's incredible at mobilizing a large group of people in a short period of time. There really isn't another way in the city to mobilize, that many people that quickly to get them to be able to be somewhere to hand something out.
And I know,
it's,
I'm sorry, go ahead, Dave. I interrupted.
It's just one of those things, there's a lot of things that fall in the fire department that people don't know why that falls in the fire department. And even we don't know, but it's just, for us, it was, we were asked if we could assist, and the one of the great things about firefighters is when you give them a task, they complete it, and they move through it without complaining, without thought. And again, we pulled well over 20 members in, on relatively short notice to assist.
And then in terms of publicizing this thing for the general public, since same day you get them, so you had hours to publicize this thing.
Correct.
And how'd you I know, like I had a text immediately, and Andrew Backlick at the mayor's office. Not that the Valley Indy is the most read thing, but there wasn't an option to put this in the Connecticut Post and New Haven Register.
Correct. There was no chance for print, so we just did the social media blitz. Instagram. Facebook, those avenues, and then the Derby community pages that are involved in the Facebook. There's a handful of them, but as you know, somebody who lives and dies on social media, you could see for those of you who don't run Facebook pages at home, you could see, if you will, your analytics. Mm-hmm. And when you put a post out there, you're able to see and determine how many people viewed that post. And, our post of, we were hosting the event, let's see, it was viewed, on our page, it was viewed over 4,000 times.
Okay.
So that was just our Facebook post. That's not Instagram. That's not people sharing it. That's just from our, perspective. So, I wish we had a better system in the city of Derby. We don't. We're playing the cards that we're dealt with. So that was the way that we were able to get word out. And judging by the overwhelming, amount of people that showed up, obviously word got out that we had them.
Yeah, I was going to say there was obviously. It's not like you were sitting around. There was a line. You ended early. You didn't go the full.
Correct.
I think your allotment of time. And it's interesting because it's not like you had weeks to even. It's not like the fire departments even had to do something like this before, especially in a situation where the state says, "Here's your test kits. We're going to get you 1,207. Oh, but by the way, that's not going to happen. Stay tuned." Sunday morning rolls around. How much did you end up getting?
Okay, so the city received 900 kits, which equates to 1,800 tests. So for those of you who saw the kits, each kit consisted of 2 tests within the kit. And they were divided up amongst the city, but basically the largest portion went to the giveaway that we had up at the high school, which there was 370 kits given away there. The education system in the city took 350. The fire department, the police department, City Hall, Public Works, WPCA, the city agencies like that, like the fire department got 45 kits, the police department 45 kits, City Hall, city workers got 45 kits, and then Public Works, WPCA 45 kits.
And that allotment, that was under the advisement of the state here. You have to.
Correct.
Okay. And then who specifically decided like the exact number to give to each department?
Mark and I they came in a box of 45.
Oh, okay.
So it just seemed the easiest way to do it was to just give, okay, here's one box when we were unloading the truck.
I'm trying, and as you were talking, I was trying to look at Valley Indy Facebook statistics to see how many. I'm looking real quickly here. I know when I postponed the distribution, Derby's distribution for Friday is postponed. That was 2.8 thousand reach, but I can't find the actual. Oh, okay. No, here it is. Okay, attention Derby. This is on the day of. What'd you give them away? January 2nd?
The second or the third? The second, yes. Sorry.
Okay, I guess I copied and pasted 8.8 thousand people. It was actually one of the more red ones. Anyway, so that's neither here nor there. But I mean, one thing to contrast what happened in Derby, it was orderly. There weren't long lines. It was actually
there were. We were blessed with the location of the high school. We for those of you who are familiar with the Nutmeg Ave setup, we use the large parking lot that's just under the Little League field or between, at the end of the middle school area for where we did the distribution, and we set up 4 lanes, with each lane being prepared to receive 5 vehicles. And then we had one team that would check to make sure that they were residents, and then the other team would hand them out. So at any time in the bullpen, if you will, there were 20 vehicles. And then we had the rest of Nutmeg Avenue from the Little League field back to Chatfield Street to put cars. And then at one point we even made a second lane so that we could double the amount of cars that were on Nutmeg Ave. I know right when the event started, the traffic on Chatfield Street made it back to roughly where the old Derby nursing home was, but it wasn't like that very long.
Okay, because I was going to say one thing in Ansonia, they had long lines, but I should note that Dave is a firefighter, and so you'll hear scanner in the background. But no, that's fine. They did a lot of advanced publicity. Which is good and bad, I guess, as a layman. I don't know anything about distributing stuff, but the demand has been so high, but the supply has been so low thus far. Do you have any idea how the state give more advance notice, do you think, on the next batch? Is that stuff you've communicated to the state?
Yeah, we have no idea. It's the state. They're gonna, I hate to say they're gonna do what they want, but they're gonna do what they want. And the biggest feedback we've gotten from people was we just wish there was better communication. And, we're communicating the best we can with what we have to get the word out.
That was one thing I have noticed in other towns. Ansonia Code Red. George Temple does like a stand-up routine every time he sends out a specific Code Red branded. I think the name of the company at one point was Code Red. Seymour might have something slightly different, but Derby doesn't use that sort of robocall method. I think it had been explored at one point. Do you think that's something that's needed?
Oh, absolutely. I would love it. Obviously, we don't have a system like that in Derby. And as you mentioned, I know at one time the city did look into purchasing something like that, but they, I don't know where it went. It was not my project. So.
Yeah, and as a reporter, I should remember, but I honestly don't. It's just like in the cobwebs of my brain somewhere. But maybe that's something that'll come back up, because obviously this demonstrates. There was a turnout. You got everything, off the table there. But I guess there is a need for a Code Red in Derby. It's hard to deny that Code Red system, some type of way to tell people, because it's just so hard to get information out in any way.
We do have the ability to do a reverse 911. I do know that. I don't know, the gatekeeper or the process. In my tenure in the fire department, it's not something that we've been given access to or understand, but I do know there is, at least a system. Again, not my decision as to how it's out, but word obviously got out. We distributed all of the kits. So I feel bad that there are people out there that wanted them that couldn't get them. But we were given, 370 kits for a city of 13,000 people.
Yeah. One thing that the Lamont administration said today was basically like, hey, look, we're never going to provide enough kits for every person in Connecticut. This is meant to be a bridge to when the federal government, I guess they had recently said they're going to start sending home these at-home kits in some manner. I don't know. That's all above my pay grade, but it certainly is challenging. But I guess I just wanted to give people a sense of what had to happen locally, because I know it was a lot of burden on the fire department, and it was a lot of burden on our town officials all over the place.
Right. It was very, very, fast moving. All the key stakeholders were involved. Myself, Mark from OEM, the police chief, the mayor's office, the board of ed, Dr. Conway was in. All of us were, there was a lot of emailing back and forth and a lot of, calls with what, how we were going to do it, when we were going to do it. And for the time frame that we had, I think the members, they did a tremendous job, and it went very, very smooth.
Yeah, were you surprised that so many people made themselves available in terms of the fire department, the emergency services side? Were you surprised that so many made themselves available on such short notice?
I really was. I had a little bit of parental pride, in the members, and they really did. I said to them, I think that was probably one of the more proud displays of the Derby Fire Department. How nowhere in our job description will you find this. Handing out kits during a pandemic, and in the fire service, it's always kind of what's the next thing. And growing up, I joined the fire service in the mid '90s, and it was technical rescue and hazardous materials response. And then, after September 11th, we focused heavily on terrorism. And then we went into like active shooter and mass casualty incidents. And we never saw pandemic. I mean, and you know, for those of you who don't know me, my background, besides being the fire chief, I ran the ambulance corps. And, you know, the ambulance corps has taken a bludgeoning with this pandemic. And they, you know, we just never, I think we got too arrogant as a society that we thought technology would prevent this from happening. And you know, I still look back on the first couple phone calls, the first couple meetings we had, you know, which was March of, you know, we're in our third year of this. And to me, it's just, you know, very surreal. And I'm just very glad at the response from the fire department, from the ambulance corps, from the police department. You know, we've done a tremendous job of, and I hate to say, you know, I always joke with the members, I always say there's a big difference between winging it and seeing what happens. And, you know, we're making a lot of this stuff up, you know, as we go based on, you know, what we can brainstorm and come up with. Mm-hmm. And fortunately for our little city, we have a lot of very smart people who do this, you know, passionately. They're very well educated in it, and we're able to get some very good decision makers in the right spots at the right time.
All right, Chief Leonard, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk to me. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Anytime. And I'm sure I'll talk to you again at the next incident.
Or the next screening of Boba Fett, the new series.
Yes, we have new Boba Fett coming out. I still haven't seen Spider-Man. So, you know, I got to get to that.
All right.
For hundreds of years we brought you the news. For any info we gave you the clues.